migration patterns, migration patterns, migration patterns, migration patterns, migration patterns. Moving is not traveling. When you move to a place, you are looking for a new life. It could be peaceful to arrive in a new city, but it also can be hard if you feel displaced or rejected. Then you have to move once again. Sometimes it may be better to be alone and look for new places without the hassle of others. But then you have to worry to be very self-confident of what you are doing. To be more independent and free moving requires strength. Having the luck to find quickly what you are looking may also play a role. People in the U.S. move far more than they do in Europe. Jobs can be waiting for you in other cities. Also, friends and relatives may be your first contact with the new place. They are the first support and the first guides of the new location. They help you start a new life. Moving is the hope to find a new place to live. A new place that can be in our dreams, but also in our collective consciousness as a prototype of the encounter of hope and happiness, a hope for a paradise. While moving, you are sitting on a bus, train, car, or plane. You see the different landscapes passing through your window at this particular moment of your life. You feel relaxed but also anxious, thinking about the new place that is waiting for you.
Good morning. I have a question for you. Just about moving. How many times have you moved?
I've moved at least 23 times. I've moved in the United States, I moved in France, Colombia, Malaysia, and Spain.
And what was the best place for you?
Spain.
And then decided to come back to the States. How was that decision?
Well, the good thing was that I got my master's degree. That was a good thing in the States. But I didn't like living in the States. I prefer to live in Spain.
So first you went to Chicago,
Yes.
and then you decided to stay there for a while and came to Asheville.
Well, I was going to stay there for 1 year.
But you also were in Costa Rica.
And after 11 years, I think, it was wonderful. You can't make a lot of money there. And I was making good money there to live there, but I couldn't leave. I was in Costa Rica in the jungle.
Right.
So it's very different, very different. Very relaxed person.
So at the end, in the last 10 years, you've been in Chicago, Costa Rica, and Asheville.
And Asheville.
And
I lived in Florida.
In Florida too, yeah.
Born in Chicago, actually, but I grew up in Michigan.
How long ago
In 1985, I moved to Asheville in 2009, so 7.5 years ago. And
Are you happy being here?
am I happy? Absolutely. Yeah, I'm in love with Asheville. I'm definitely very happy moving here. Part of the reason we moved here is because of the arts district. Being an artist, that's obviously important to me. So my wife and I are heavily invested in every sense of the term. We have a lot of friends, good community. We have their business. We're building a house right now, but it's absolutely love Asheville.
And in how many places have you been before Asheville?
I've only lived in, a few cities, mostly in the Midwest, but both my wife and I were both, pretty well traveled. I'm actually, one of my top favorite cities is Barcelona.
Well, in 1998, I went to school just close to here, and I moved away after that, but I decided to stay in the US, and I just came back here in Asheville in 2007, because I like it.
And from where are you from?
I'm from the northern Rhone Valley. I was born and raised in Saint-Étienne in France.
Saint-Étienne, okay.
Yeah, and lived all over France, but moved to the US in
hi.
'98.
And what is the differences between Saint-Étienne and Asheville?
There's a lot of differences.
Yeah, which one?
Culture, language, culture, everything is different.
But the biggest?
But if you go to the town where I grew up,
Yes.
she says, I didn't say that, it looks exactly the
Looks just
same,
like
the landscape
Asheville.
is the same.
It looks just
So
like
much
Asheville.
like Asheville.
Really?
So there are certain points in
The
common.
landscape,
Landscape.
is
Not
the
really.
control, about the same
Yeah.
elevation.
Yeah.
I live in a bowl
It's a
surrounded
bowl
a
with
mountain,
mountains.
and it's the exact same view.
Wow, that's the
Yeah.
same.
Pretty much the same, yeah.
And where,
How many times have I moved?
So do you speak
13,
Catalan?
15 times?
15 times.
mostly,
Okay.
Yeah.
mostly
And
Catalan.
what was the place that you really enjoyed the most?
Here.
Here.
I didn't live in 18 different countries. I've been to 18 different countries.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I lived in 2 countries, really.
All right. Okay.
And this is the place I enjoy the most for the moment.
Okay. Thank you.
My name is Franklin Pierce.
What brought you here?
I came here in 2005 to help take care of my parents who
Okay.
had moved here in the mid 80s.
Okay.
They had bought land here in the late 70s,
Right.
and I moved down and I've never looked back.
Never.
I've been to New York once since
Okay.
I left. I moved from New York in 1979 to Chicago,
All
and then
right.
I lived there for most of my life.
Oh,
I lived
okay.
in Kansas and Missouri.
So in total, in how many places have you lived?
5 different.
5 different. And the place that you like the most is here.
Is here.
Is here
Yes.
because you are here. Right.
I love
So
the
you are
weather.
not thinking of moving?
We are thinking of moving.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Really?
My wife and I want to travel in South America.
Oh, okay.
We want to raise our son
To
in
live there, there for a
live.
while. In what country?
Uruguay.
Hi, Randy. So you are from here?
I am from here. I grew up here.
Okay. And did you have the opportunity in your lifetime to move to another place?
I have. I lived in Texas for a brief period of time, a little less than a year.
And how did you like it?
I didn't like it at all.
Oh my God! You didn't like it? How was that?
I didn't. I mean, there were some interesting things about Texas.
Yes.
I just needed to come home to the mountains.
Okay. Feelings are very strong related to Asheville, the
I
place
do.
you
The
live.
Western North Carolina area,
Alright.
for sure.
Okay. So then, do you think that you will expect in the future to move, or you feel that you are going to be here forever, more or less?
I imagine that I will live somewhere close to here probably the rest of my life.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, the capital city. How many times have I moved? Boone, North Carolina, and Cullowhee, North Carolina, so that's 2. And Kingsport, Tennessee, that's 3. And Asheville, North Carolina, that's 4.
So, are you thinking in moving or staying here?
Well, actually, Raleigh. I grew up in Raleigh, so that's
okay.
for now. I think I'm going to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Goes all the way down to his stump and he's still fighting.
We are in Tybee Island. Today is the 11th of May. It's 8 a.m. and we are staying in this bungalow in Savannah, close to Savannah in this Tybee Island. I am going to ask some questions to John Martin. How are you,
Good.
John?
Pretty good.
Okay, so I have a question. Just how many times have you moved?
I would say I have moved about maybe 12 times.
12 times.
Yeah.
But where are you from exactly?
I'm from Springfield, Illinois.
Springfield, Illinois. Okay. So now you are in Buffalo. Okay.
Where, you know, Buffalo has been, yeah, because I've lived here longer too. I've lived here over 45 years.
Okay. Are you expecting to move again, or do you think that you are going to stay in
No,
Buffalo?
I'm moving at this
Not
point,
moving.
as far as I'm concerned, and
No more moving.
for a lot of different reasons. But I mean, I'm at my age and where I'm at, and so
Okay.
on in my life and what's going on. I'm gonna. Actually, the reason is too is that it took me a while before I felt like Buffalo was home.
Okay, thank you, John.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Buffalo, New York, in the United States.
How many times have you moved?
Probably about 6 times. There may be a couple I forgot.
And what is the place you like the most?
Actually, I'm fine in Buffalo. However, I think I would like sometimes to live in a warmer place.
Mm-hmm. Have you been abroad?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And how did you like it?
I liked it very much. But I see I have friends that live there,
Okay.
and I hear about their issues, and I say, well, no place is perfect, that's for sure.
And are you planning in moving again, or just staying in your house there in Buffalo?
Well, first of all, you never know where life is going to take you, and I'm okay with that. But at present, I'm fine where I am. I had to say that. When I say about moving to, it's not just your body that moves. It's your mind, it's your spirit, and I can take that wherever I go.
Okay, thank you, Vivian, for your answers. Estoy al encuentro de Miguel Ángel Antoñanzas. Nos conocimos hace unos 20 años en Barcelona. Él trabaja de corresponsal en la CNN España, aquí en Atlanta. Hola, Miguel Ángel.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué me hizo venir a Atlanta? Yo creo que lo primero fue el trabajo. El momento en que yo decidí eso era porque había un problema laboral en España muy importante. Hablamos del año 96, 97. Buscar trabajo de periodista era muy difícil. Y bueno, había una amiga que estaba por aquí y me dijo, bueno, vente porque igual CNN en español, busca gente, mira a ver si puedes venir, a ver cómo tiene los papeles. Y yo me vine con un billete de ida solo, a probar fortuna, y llegué a Nueva York y luego vine a Atlanta, hice las entrevistas y un poco fue eso, la búsqueda de un trabajo. Mis experiencias aquí y cómo me adapté. Bueno, yo creo que al principio cuando uno llega a un país extranjero está un poco a expectativa, ¿no? En segundo lugar es adaptarte un poco socialmente y eso es bastante difícil. ¿Por qué? Porque la sociedad estadounidense es una sociedad muy individualista. La ventaja que es al trabajar en un medio de comunicación como CNN Español, donde hay tanto latino y tanto español, ese tipo de personas que se suelen quedar aquí, es más fácil que tengas amistad con esas personas. Pero es verdad que me hubiera gustado tener más amistades y más interacción con los nativos del país. Aquí, de cierta manera, al final tienes que ir a sitios concretos. Tú sales del trabajo y puedes quedar con una persona en un bar, para ir al teatro, para ir al cine, pero ya es ese tipo de actividad, que va de un sitio a otro. Echo de menos eso, más o menos callejear.
¿Y realmente piensas mudarte a algún sitio o crees que te quedarás aquí?
Siempre que cuando llegué aquí, al principio me compré coche, porque pensé esto va a ser algo provisional, yo creo que en un año y medio me marcharé, ¿no? Y eso le pasa a mucha gente inmigrante. Yo creo que al final lo que te ata a veces es el trabajo o la familia. En mi caso es más bien el trabajo. Estoy muy a gusto con lo que hago, creo que me permite la compañía hacer una serie de cosas que otro tipo de compañías de comunicación no me permitiría jamás. Pero si hubiera una oportunidad muy parecida profesional o también una aventura personal en otra ciudad, tampoco tendría problema mucho para irme a otro sitio, sea Europa o sea aquí Estados Unidos o cualquier otro sitio.
Ok, gracias Miguel Ángel.
A ti.
I am here with Charlie Kaftan. He was born in New York.
Yes, well, I moved to Atlanta about 9 years ago. I had been living and working overseas for about 17 years, and after doing that for a long time, my wife and I decided that maybe we would try living in the United States. I hadn't lived here for a long time. I have visited, and it turns out there was a job opening in Atlanta with a domestic NGO or ONG, and I applied for the job and got the job. So that's why we came to Atlanta.
In how many places have you lived before coming here?
Yeah, well, I would say somewhere about 15 different countries. When I left the United States, I moved to Spain and lived there for about 5 years, and I was teaching, and then I started my career in the NGO world. And first I worked in Panama, then I worked in Kosovo, Bosnia, Georgia, Liberia, Azerbaijan, Russia, Chechnya, back to Georgia, Vietnam, back to Liberia, and most recently I've been working as a consultant in Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Tanzania, a lot of the time in Ethiopia. So that's about 15 different places that I've lived and worked.
So in what place did you like it the best?
Well, I think in terms of the work experience, Georgia was probably the best because I'm married to a Georgian woman, and therefore it was not that I was just working there. I was.
But Georgia in Russia?
Yeah, Georgia,
right.
The country, right,
Okay.
exactly. So as an NGO worker, you know, you're just posted in these countries, but you're not really connected. Whereas since I was married to a Georgian woman, I had this special connection there, and it was a different kind of experience.
Did you fulfill your expectations being here, or do you feel disappointed with Atlanta?
You know, overall, I'm pleasantly satisfied with the situation in Atlanta. You know, we live right next to Piedmont Park, which is a nice area. We like the neighborhood that we're living in. Because we're in the center of town, we don't have to drive too much, so we don't have to get involved in the heavy crazy traffic. You know, there are some things about it that you know, are challenging, but overall, you know, the weather, the lifestyle, yeah, overall, I think we're satisfied.
Okay, thank you, Charlie.
All right, thank you.
I am going to meet Lucy Papins. She works as an epidemiologist at the CDC, Central Disease Control of Atlanta. Hello, Lucy.
Hi, Lenny. I'm from a little town, Verysburg, New York, in New York State, Western New York State. I moved from Verysburg, New York to Buffalo, New York when I started college. After I finished, my next big move from city, because Verysburg wasn't a big city, from Buffalo was to New York City. I've lived maybe around 8 cities. From New York to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Cincinnati, Ohio, San Antonio, Texas, Atlanta, Richmond, Virginia, and then back to Atlanta. I liked San Antonio, Texas the best. It is a great city. I would like to move back north or closer to where a lot of my family lives.
Okay, thank you, Lucy.
You're welcome.
I am here at the Peachtree Airport near Atlanta, and I am going to meet Barry Flanagan. He works at the CDC as a geographer. Hello, Barry.
Hello.
Being from New York, how do you feel considering that many people want to move or live in New York and you did the opposite?
Well, you know, originally I was not a New Yorker. I was born right here in Atlanta. My mother's a Southerner, my father's a New Yorker. We moved to New York. So New York always has many people and gives up many people to the rest of the country. Now I have lived in North Carolina, Ohio, Texas, Georgia, Virginia, and back to Georgia. So it's been good. I know how to be an American now and not just a New Yorker. The place I liked best, I think, was San Antonio. It's very Mexican, very laid back, and the secret is to find good friends. If you find good friends, you're in a nice place, very well there. And we did, and we had a lovely time in San Antonio.
Okay, thank you, Barry.
Well, you're welcome, Juan Luis.
I'm going to meet Rose Skerpak. Just arriving to meet Rose. Where are you from, Rose?
I'm from Greenwich Village in New York City. I can't begin to tell you, my husband and I were called gypsies because when we were going to college, we kept moving to find the least expensive apartment we could live in, whether it was 1 room or 2 rooms. And then it wasn't until we had children, like 11 years after we were married, we had our first child, and we bought a house 3 months after.
Where?
Out in Succossona, New Jersey, man-made lake in the state of New Jersey.
And after New York, did you go to more places in the States to live?
No, from New York City. My mother died when I was 2, so when I was 3, I went to live with her sister Rose, for whom I am named, in New Jersey, and her husband Patsy Pasquale, Italians. And I grew up there in a lovely section of Passaic, thanks to their generosity and love. And then during World War II, I was working as a young kid in a defense plant. They were hiring women because the men had to go to war against the Nazis. And that was World War II. And I met my husband there before he was drafted to go to war. He went to the Pacific. And when he returned, we decided to take advantage of the free college education that the government was offering veterans.
How many years did you live there?
I lived 31 years in Barcelona.
31 years. And coming back to Atlanta, how do you feel? So you have to figure that out.
Actually, I feel it's a little strange for me. I'm becoming American again because obviously I picked up many of the habits and even ideas of the Catalans. I was living in Catalonia, Barcelona. And, but I find people here very friendly. I find Americans very friendly. And I mean,
What's the story you remember of Barcelona that was the most interesting for you?
it was becoming an actress. I was teaching at the North English and Literature at the North American Institute, and then this opportunity was offered me to be an extra in one of Vegas Luna's films, and he's very famous, as you know, in Spain. And that was the beginning. And agencies began to call me, and I worked for many years with some famous people.
Okay, thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
During the process of making this short movie, I discovered that one of the interviewees is moving. And here I am with Teresa Pepins, who is going to move soon. How do you feel about moving again?
Well, I feel a little stressed because I've only been in Atlanta for 2 years. So I suppose 2 years, I remember all too well my last move, which was just 2 years ago. So.
Why are you moving again, and what do you expect to find in Buffalo or in other places you will?
Well, I'm moving because I think I was very unhappy with my job situation here. I don't like the politics of the South. I found too that healthcare is really difficult to obtain in the South, and I don't know what to expect. I suppose in a way I'm open to whatever possibilities await me.
Good luck with your move, and tell us about it. I am going to meet David Kammer, whose faculty at the University of Miami.
I'm originally from Racine, Wisconsin, but I've moved numerous times, probably more than 30, because I've lived, for example, in Viña del Mar, Chile. I lived in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Later, I moved to Madrid, Spain. I'd also lived in Barcelona, Spain. Then I moved to Boston, and after Boston, now, I moved to California, and finally I'm at the University of Miami. So that's a lot of moves in a very short period of time.
What place did you like the best?
Oh, I forgot that I also lived in Australia, Sydney, Australia.
Oh, okay.
Well, I like all the places because no place is perfect. But I think that my heart belongs in Spain, and I believe it's Spain because I was there when I was young. Exciting time in my life, so I think that's why I prefer Madrid. Yes, I love Madrid.
Are you planning in moving again, or you are happy in Miami?
No, I probably will be moving again. I do suffer from the hot weather here, and if I were to have a better job offer, I probably would move to a cooler climate. But for now, I'm going to be staying in Miami.
Okay, thank you, David.
You're welcome.
We are at the Botanical Garden in Miami, and I am going to ask several questions to Donald Winston. Hello, Donald.
Hi, how are you doing today?
So, where are you from?
I was born in Bronx, New York.
How many times did you move?
While I was living in New York, I originally was born in the Bronx, went to Yonkers and Westchester, New York, and probably moved about 4 different locations in different apartments in Westchester. I came to Miami to go to college, University of Miami, and probably lived at the university for 1 year. And since I've been here, I probably moved 6 different times.
Did you expect to stay in Miami for a long time?
Not originally. I was used to a northern climate with a change of seasons, but I got a job and stayed with that, so my career kept me here and the family.
So are you planning to move or you are fine here?
Right now I'm fine here, but I'm open to some traveling and maybe doing some seasonal moving. Enjoying part of the year here and maybe eventually go to other areas for part of the year.
Okay, Donald, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
We are here in Oakville, near Toronto, with Larissa Onslins. Hi, Larissa.
Hi.
Tell me, where were you born?
I was born in Montreal, Canada. I've moved 10 times, close to 11 times in my life. I was born in Montreal and then we moved to Oakville. And then I moved to London, Ontario, Toronto. I moved overseas for a while as well. And I'm planning on moving again. I moved 3 times though, same area, West London, but yeah, it was wonderful. I loved Europe. Yes, I'm planning on moving again. I will be moving to the States, most likely at the start of 2017.
Okay, thank you, Larissa.
Thank you.
Estamos en el lago Basiver, cerca del Pla de Beret, y tengo aquí a José Luis Muñoz, que le voy a preguntar unas cosas, puesto que él está afincado en esta zona tan preciosa del Valle de Arán. Hola, José Luis.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Dime de dónde eres originario.
Bueno, yo nací en Salamanca hace ya muchísimos años. Lo que pasa es que en Salamanca más estuve viviendo 3 años, ¿no? Entonces yo casi me considero de Barcelona, catalán. Y más que de Barcelona, de un barrio muy particular, del barrio de Gracia, ¿no?
Debido a tu profesión de escritor, has viajado mucho y aún viajas, ¿no? Pero dinos exactamente en cuántos sitios has estado o mudado o vivido.
Bueno, sí, viajar también es una de mis grandes pasiones, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, yo he viajado sobre todo por América, por Estados Unidos, ¿no? Por eso muchas de mis novelas están ambientadas en Estados Unidos. También conozco mucho, digamos, todo lo que es la zona esta de Extremo Oriente, ¿no? Y algunas de mis novelas también están ambientadas en esa zona. Pero en cuanto, digamos, a lugares de residencia, pues bueno, yo creo que me he mudado, si voy haciendo cuentas de las casas en que he estado, yo creo que he estado casi en unas 15 casas. El problema de las mudanzas es que en cada mudanza te vas olvidando cosas, ¿no? Me voy dejando libros, ¿no? Y bueno, yo estuve, por ejemplo, viviendo al principio, cuando era muy jovencito, en una comuna hippie de La Floresta, ¿no? Y luego me fui a vivir, pues casi, y realmente fue un salto espectacular, porque me fui a vivir casi en un apartamento de lujo de la calle Balmes, y luego a San Cugat, que la nada, y hasta llegar aquí a este paisaje extraordinario que es el Valle de Arán. Aquí ya en el Valle de Arán, pues yo creo que unos 5 años. Entonces, claro, tampoco sé si me voy a quedar aquí definitivamente, ¿no? Si voy a echar raíces, ¿no? He echado, bueno, raíces, he hecho bastantes amigos en Bosós. Es un paisaje espectacular y aparte, cada día que salgo, pues voy descubriendo pues nuevos rincones, ¿no? Que hasta entonces eran desconocidos. O sea que yo creo que hasta que no acabe de explorar todo el Valle de Arán, pues yo creo que voy a seguir viviendo aquí, en este paraje que realmente es extraordinario.
Muy bien, José Luis, pues muchas gracias. Hasta pronto. It's snowing in Buffalo. I am here by the Teresa's Papin's apartment. This is the entrance. Hello, Teresa.
Hi, how are you?
So the last interview we did, it was in Atlanta and you moved to here. So how do you feel?
I feel much happier here. Even despite the big snows and the weather, I prefer the north. I think it's just a different kind of place. I lived in Europe for a long time where there's a social system, and I think New York State at least has many similarities to Europe in that respect.
Ah!
J'ai un rendez-vous avec François Huertas.
Bonjour.
Où es-tu né?
Je suis né au Maroc.
Combien de fois as-tu déménagé des pays, des villes?
J'ai déménagé très souvent. J'ai habité au Maroc, en France, en Espagne, aux États-Unis et dans différentes villes. Je ne sais pas, j'ai peut-être déménagé 30, 40 fois, je ne sais plus. Oui, je choisis Barcelone parce que Barcelone est une ville de la Méditerranée. J'adore la Méditerranée, mais c'est aussi une ville cosmopolite et qui est plus facilement communiquée avec le reste du monde.
Comment vois-tu le monde de l'art à Barcelone? Penses-tu qu'il existe des villes plus intéressantes?
Barcelone est une ville où il est possible de faire pas mal de choses. Je crois que le monde de l'art est toujours un monde un peu fermé quand on arrive quelque part. Je ne suis pas certain que Nice soit une meilleure ville. En fait, je crois qu'on peut pratiquer son art partout. Je ne crois pas qu'il y ait de ville en particulier.
Merci François. Estoy en el estudio taller de Vania Bicok. ¿De dónde eres?
Yo de Serbia, de antigua Yugoslavia.
¿En cuántos sitios has estado?
Creo que eran unos 9 sitios desde que yo soy consciente. Me he ido de Serbia a República Checa, he vivido en Praga. Estos son cambios, digamos, más importantes. Y desde Praga me he mudado aquí. Cuando era pequeña, lo que recuerdo que era un cambio importante de una casa que vivíamos al lado del bosque y de repente vivir en una urbanización, o vivir en esa ciudad preciosa. Y bueno, y de Barcelona, ¿qué voy a decir si sigo viviendo aquí? La verdad es que me gustaría cambiar. Me gustaría irme a un sitio más tranquilo, en un ambiente más rural.
¿Sabes dónde?
No lo sé, porque de hecho no me lo puedo plantear seriamente porque tengo hijos y mis hijos, claro, ahora necesitan la ciudad.
Muchas gracias, Vania.
A ti, Juan Luis.
This is the country house, a cottage, of my friends Austra and Andres. They are living in Toronto and they come regularly here to the Little White Fish. Ontario has 250,000 lakes and this is one of them. Very relaxing place, surrounded by nature, trees, and lakes. How many times have you moved?
Hi, I was born in France, and at the age of 6, we actually moved to Montreal, Canada, where I lived for many years. In that time frame, we moved 4 times in Montreal. And then I got married, and we moved to Buffalo, New York, and I lived there for 1 year and returned to Montreal. Moved again twice. And then in 1990, we moved to Toronto, mostly for political reasons, but we did move to Toronto, and since then I have not moved. So we decided to move from Montreal to Toronto because we were a little concerned about the political instability, separatism coming maybe down the road, which never happened, but we were worried about that. And also the better opportunities in the province of Ontario. Salaries were larger.
So when you were in Montreal, was the French language a problem for you?
Okay. So for myself, it was not that big an issue because I was born in France. I had a little bit of French, and we learned French in school. But for my husband coming from the United States, learning French was a difficult situation. My children also went to English school.
Okay, thank you, Austra.
Okay, thank you.
Ramón López.
Hola.
¿Dónde has nacido?
Yo nací en Alicante. Bueno, la historia de París fue por la música, ¿no? Por la música y por el jazz en particular.
¿En cuántos sitios has vivido?
En España, ¿no? En Alicante, y luego en París desde el 85.
¿Y qué tal fue tu experiencia en París?
La aventura de París fue por la música. En un momento cuando un joven batería alicantino tenía muchas ganas de ver lo que ocurría en el mundo del jazz, porque yo soy músico y lo que ocurría en esos momentos en Europa, París me pareció la ciudad más interesante. Entonces,
Estás viajando por todo el mundo. ¿Qué tipo de ciudad te ha gustado más?
pero siempre he estado en Nueva York o en Chicago, son dos ciudades que me encantan. Pero digamos que tengo una preferencia por los países asiáticos, por la India, tuve la oportunidad de estar en Camboya y encuentro una manera de vivir de la gente y un calor, no sé, un color que me apasiona. Aparte que, por ejemplo, con la música india tengo una relación, he estado tocando las tablas, he estado trabajando con maestros indios, he ido a la India, todavía más cercano, ¿no? Magnífico.
Vale, muchísimas gracias, Ramón.
Muchas gracias a vosotros.
Yo nací en Buenos Aires, en esta maravillosa ciudad, y soy una mujer absolutamente privilegiada porque tengo la posibilidad de vivir en dos ciudades diferentes, de dos continentes diferentes. No puedo decir exactamente cuál de las dos ciudades me gusta más. Yo creo que ambas son absolutamente maravillosas porque tienen una posibilidad exquisita de cultura, de artística, y en la cual yo me siento amorosamente acogida tanto por una como por otra. He vivido a lo largo de todos estos años en muchas ciudades en mi primera emigración de España, y también he vivido en una ciudad alemana, en Düsseldorf. ¿Cuántas veces me he cambiado de casa? 18 veces. Y si me interrogo si realmente me gustaría volver a emigrar o si me adaptaría a una nueva emigración, confieso claramente que sí, porque encuentro que gracias a las nuevas tecnologías, hoy por hoy, el hecho de emigrar no deja de ser una posibilidad absolutamente excitante y vitalista.
I am here in Marsa, near Tarragona, and this is the end of the movie. The title I chosen is Migration Patterns, because I was curious about interviewing people to see in how many places they had moved. But I moved 20 times. I've been in Barcelona, living in Barcelona, moving there almost 13 times. Also in Chicago twice, Buffalo twice, Atlanta, and also here because I have this studio in the countryside. I think that I am going to keep moving. In Barcelona, I am going to move soon.
Thank you.